Okay, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Wall Street Reporter's next Superstock, a live stream event for today, January 5, excuse me, not today, January. Today is March 5, 2020, and joining us once again is Evan Gappelberg. He is the CEO of NexTech AR Solutions, stock symbol is NEXCF, NTAR on the CSE in Canada. One of the most exciting companies in the $120 billion augmented reality market. NexTech is doing some amazing things in the AR space, and this stock has been called the Tesla of microcaps for its incredible upside potential, which investors are starting to recognize, and of course the wild price swings in the stock, which we have seen. The stock has been up from 50 cents when NexTech first appeared on this live stream in August, hit a high recently of $2.56. We're back around the dollar area. Hopefully, we'll find out today if NexTech is going to make new highs after this. So for those of you who are new to the Wall Street Reporter Next Superstock live stream, our premise is very simple. We're looking for companies that have 10x upside potential. So these are stocks which have tremendous upside. These are companies which have multi-billion-dollar market opportunities. There are the key inflection points. There are multiple near-term catalysts in place which can really create massive news flow, move the stock, and most importantly, they have a very rare ingredient in the microcap space, which is a CEO that gets it when it comes to maximizing shareholder value. I think after watching this presentation today, a lot of you will probably decide that NexTech probably is that next super stock. So please watch the presentation, ask your questions. Your questions really are the key that makes these presentations fantastic. So after this, you can decide for yourself. And let me now turn over to Evan Gappelberg, the CEO of NexTech AR Solutions. Evan, presentation is yours.
Thank you, Jack. Thanks for the intro. Just in case anybody isn't familiar, NexTech has been working for the last 2 years trying to crack the code on augmented reality, and we feel we've done it with our AR Ties 360, which was formerly called our Capture AR app. We've been working diligently, night and day, really. We have 3 full-time, full-stack software developers working on this, 3 part-time. That's a team of 6, plus an external team of another 4 people. So it's like 10 people that have been working on this. And we finally have figured out how to capture objects, jackets, shoes, any textile really, and turn them into 3D AR shoppable experiences. Nobody's been able to do this. We just announced our early access to 100 lucky brands and companies so that they can test out our product, test out the app, and ultimately give us some feedback. We make maybe a few minor adjustments based on the feedback. It's always good to hear from customers. And then we release the app into the wild, and the AR industry changes forever. I'm going to show a video which I'll narrate a little bit, but it kind of shows the behind the scenes look. So what you see there are the tools that you need to be able to capture efficiently and effectively. So what do we have? We have a little light box, which pretty much any e-com customer has. You have a gimbal, which is about $50. You have your smartphone, which everybody has in their pocket already, and then you have a little plastic tray, some lighting, and there's a New Balance sneaker. There's nothing in this capture piece that is going to cost anybody thousands of dollars and be a hurdle for people to be taking this video. Once you take the video, it's the capture is done, the work is done on the part of the e-com site owner, the brand, and they upload it into our back end, and we'll continue. It's filmed on an iPhone 11. there's the sneaker, raw AR ties 360 output, no cleanup. What does that mean? No human touch. This is state of the art. It looks photorealistic. It looks incredible. Nobody else has the ability to do this without touch up today. This is our 3D ad network back end. Using AR Ties 360, you can now leverage our AR omnichannel platform to include 3D models of products and interactive ad units, which is huge. It's a multi-billion-dollar opportunity for us, first to market with 3D AR swirl ads. This is a really special ad because it's a combination of live persons technology, symbol LPSN. They're one of our partners. You can see message us to learn more. Inside the 3D AR ad, you can message. It's total game changer. You know, you're in the ad and you're asking, do you have my size? Do you have my color? It really is a dramatic improvement over the existing, 2D static banner ad. So, that's kind of a demo. Here are some products that we've created in 3D. I'm just going to show you using the Capture app, using the AR Ties 360 app. We've been able to capture, this is one of our customers' jackets. You can see the photorealism, the ability to shop like this, bringing the product into your room increases conversions. And it's a big deal for AR. It's a big deal for our customers. You're driving more click-throughs with the ads. Here's the buy now button. Go ahead, spin it. So I'm spinning it. I'm just using my mouse to spin the sneaker around. And then if you click on it, it takes you right to the New Balance site. It's frictionless, it's seamless, and it's really state-of-the-art technology. And NexTech is the leader. This is the early sign-up sheet, and it's important to kind of put things into perspective. And then I have a secret guest that I'm going to share with everybody in a minute. So just stick around for a few more minutes because we do have some surprises. But I just want to kind of put things into perspective. In my mind, when I try and line up what we're doing in our industry, creating this really game-changing technology, I think about other industries, and I think about DVDs that Netflix used to ship to your mailbox, and now you have on-demand streaming. The streaming was held back. It didn't work until you had the proper bandwidth in place. Once the bandwidth issue was solved, once that bottleneck was solved, NexTech exploded. Now you have movies on demand. Apple and Disney are entering into that industry. It's a $100 billion plus industry, which was not possible without the bandwidth. And so we look at AR Ties 360 as that type of a game-changing technology where we're opening up the bandwidth, we're giving the power to millions of people who have smartphones to create the 3D asset, which is going to drive a massive adoption. Another great example would be the flip phone to smartphone. The flip phone was great, but it didn't do what the smartphone does today. If you look at smartphones, you wouldn't have Uber, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. The entire app ecosystem was created off the back of a smartphone. And so again, game-changing technology generating billions of dollars in value, creating a whole ecosystem. And we see ARitize 360 as that same transformational technology, because it really does open the floodgates and gives people the power to create 3D assets, which has been the choke point. Just like bandwidth was the choke point for Netflix, just like the smartphone was, the choke point for Uber or social media. You couldn't have one without the other. And so anyone now with a smartphone, no special skills, you don't need any special training. And as long as you can take a video and you saw, what you needed, a light box, a gimbal, your smartphone, these are not complex technologies that, we've made it super simple. And so anyone could create these 3D assets. And we think it's going to create a tremendous demand in the marketplace for our ad network and for our web AR. Now, we have a special guest up in Toronto. Paul Duffy is here. Paul, can you hear me?
I can. How you doing? Good afternoon.
All right. Welcome, Paul. Welcome to the Wall Street Reporter presentation with NexTech. So I want to switch my screen to Paul's screen so that Paul can demo real time on his phone from Toronto in our office and show you some of the reason why we're so excited. We want to kind of give you a behind the scenes look, right? So we've never done this before. This is something that we think is very exciting for our investors. And Paul, take it away.
All right. Thanks, Evan. Thanks, Jack. Hope everybody's having a good time today. Yeah, thank you. And welcome to NexTech Toronto. I'm just scrolling here on my phone, basically the recent launch of our ARitize 360 program. As Evan mentioned, we're super excited about this. I mean, ultimately, anybody that uses it and those that are currently using it are seeing that it is a complete breakthrough. How you go about basically ARitizing a real product to a physical product. And so I thought what I would do is basically, as you'll be able to see through my phone, actually show you how this all works. And by doing it, basically, it's pretty straightforward. We're able to actually load the jacket in real time, and I can click on it, I can load it up, I can pretty much run it any way that I need to. Let me do this again. So I've got it actually running right here with Judy actually shooting. Maybe I'll reset this one. There we go. We got so many things going on the computer at the moment. It's kind of interesting. There we go. So funny enough, you can actually see the hologram of the jacket. And if you can, in the background, you can actually see Judy using the ARitize 360 app right now to actually shoot another one of these lovely Donna jackets. As Evan was showing you earlier, you're able to actually look at the jacket itself. You can see inside of it. You can move around. It's got some beautiful inside material. You can even go in if you want. You can actually take a selfie with it, share that across your network. Very powerful as a brand activation and an opportunity for every brand basically to go social. Here's the actual shoe that we were talking about earlier. I'll just place it right here on the desk. You can see the folks in the office here as we walk around it. I'll take another photo and you can see it there with our fancy little coffee mug. But basically the idea was that we would be able to ARitize virtually any product. And this one we're particularly fond of. We've got several from our vacuum cleaner market up and running. And why these are powerful is you can see, you can literally go right into the environment and actually bring the object up in real time, take a photo with it, see if it fits your needs. In clothing and textile, you're able to actually go in and actually experience the product as if you were, using it in your environment. What we think is going to be super transformative for this, and it's nice because we've come out of probably about 30 plus active subscribers currently using the technology. And for all of them, they have echoed the fact that they'd like to be able to take the hologram and literally place it into an ad. So we spent the better part of 6 months developing an ARitized ad unit. I'm actually moving my finger right now over this shoe, And this is the actual shoe that we caught with the Capture 360, the ARitize 360. I'm now loading it up right from the ad. It's the same actual experience. And all of this pinching, zooming, rotating is actually being tracked and measured by our particular technology. But more importantly, if I want to do something like buy now, I need do nothing more than click that button. And as you can see, much like an actual ad, it takes me directly to that product page on the New Balance website. So that's a phenomenal breakthrough for us, because now we're able to actually empower these organizations with the technology where they can go in, build an ad, set it up, run it virtually any way they want, and put it through their media spend. So I'm going to bounce over now to our website. And everybody who wants to try this, feel free. It's all up there. Everything I'm showing you is readily available. These are actual live working versions, just to give you a general sense of the other types of products that are super easy to ARitize. I'll take these bags, for instance. These are wonderful. Again, much like you're seeing Judy here in a moment, basically taking a video. She would do the same thing with this bag. So any e-com owner that had bags or products like this, they would be very easy to basically capture. You can see their volumetric. We can basically pinch and zoom and get some incredible detail. And basically, again, we're able to take a picture and share that socially. So that's a phenomenal use case for us with the ARitize 360 platform. And then the final thing I want to demonstrate basically is this ability to literally in situ show you how these ads operate, because this, we think, is a phenomenal breakthrough for not just the technology, but the industry at large, because the ability to pull this type of capability up in real time is incredible. So let me actually load this page. It's a basic weather page, but as you can see here on my screen, I'm able to pull up that Dana jacket in an ARitized ad unit. So this is us actually in the website. Now we've got our ad unit, and again, you can click on it and literally come up and bring it into a full volumetric 3D experience. You can load the jacket, and you can do everything you want with it the same way you would with the product operating basically off your website. You can even click the buy now button and go straight over to the website and make a purchase of the product. So it's a phenomenally valuable technology for us, and one that we think is really going to transform where AR goes in general. So that's pretty much it, Evan, from a behind the scenes, although I do have one more demo that I'd like to give if you guys would indulge me for a further moment.
Yeah, I just want to say that, that was a great presentation, Paul. I mean, the ability to shop online, look at a product, and then bring it into the room with you and really, experience the product as if it's there, digital twin, is what AR is all about. And everybody knows that that's the future. Again, the challenge has been creating the 3D AR assets, and that's where the ARitize 360 app becomes very, very valuable. It's really the tip of the spear. It's the first thing that has to happen for this industry to really explode and become, as ubiquitous as the smartphone or Netflix or any of the things that we interact with daily in our daily lives.
Excellent, excellent. So I'm going to jump out of our web AR, and I know that we put an awful lot of emphasis around the embed code and the ARitize 360, our ad network. Oftentimes, we don't talk specifically about our ability to tackle larger enterprise-related opportunities with augmented reality. So I'd like to take a moment and just show a little bit about some of the stuff we're doing in that space. I'm going to highlight a very typical use case and one that we're seeing growing dramatically in our pipeline right now, and that's the ability to create what amounts to product training and product marketing collaterals in augmented reality. So I'm literally going to load if you bear with me, I just want to make sure I can present the screen so it comes off properly here. I'm just going to force the rotation here to fill up my screen. I'm going to close this, and then let's place basically a 40-foot tractor trailer right here in our office. And
That's
this is crazy. This is, as you can see, I'm filling my screen up now. There's a couple of our sales reps. They literally use this technology in the exact same screen share that we're doing. And I'm actually walking right into the unit, into the device. I'm moving across. Hopefully my phone hasn't disconnected from the computer, but the ability to see the detail, life scale is just frankly staggering. You can even see the reflection on the knobs there. And this is literally how people demonstrate in trade shows, in marketing environments, in screen shares, products that cost, first of all, hundreds of thousands of dollars, but also just look at the size of this thing. You're just not literally able to have it show up. And then the best part is, and I'll just close it and I'll bring it up over here. I'm able to actually go over to, let's just call it a boardroom table, drop it right there. I can pinch, zoom, and rotate, and now I can scale it right down into an environment where I can actually put it onto a boardroom table and deliver a presentation. So, we see that this level of enterprise scale, augmented reality is actually, it's a phenomenal use case. The ROI on it speaks considerably to the fact that, you're able to just reach a broader audience quicker, transfer knowledge faster, and more importantly, for those that have distribution and sales channels, these are excellent devices and technologies to use to basically educate everybody down the line in that environment. So that was really the last thing I wanted to show you, Evan.
Oh, that was phenomenal. I mean, that's Sand Separation Solutions, one of our clients, and I'm pretty sure that they were so thrilled with this that they just reordered. Is that right, Paul?
Yeah, I think if you can see over my shoulder here, Elizabeth's actually working on the next actual version of it right there. Hey, Elizabeth, say hi. She's actually watching the demo. There we go. But you can just see, right? Like this is the power of augmented reality. And I mean, frankly, there's no other medium, there's no other visual form of communication stronger. And it's photorealistic. You can pinch and zoom it. And from a presentation point of view, it's thoroughly immersive. And to be frank, it's probably one of the best presentation devices and techniques you'll be able to use, certainly at the price point that NexTech is bringing into the market.
Yeah. Well, I remember when we sent our team out to scan that they it was, yeah. I mean, we used the capture, the ARitize 360 technology, but it was certainly a lot more involved because in real life that piece of equipment is huge, and it took a number of hours, but still the cost, it was a couple of $1,000 for our customer to hire us to create that. Something like that previously might have cost $150,000 to turn into a 3D asset, which made it cost prohibitive. And so, that's like the key driver of the business, is that the cost's reasonable, and the value, meaning the value for the customer is tremendous, because they get to present. Yeah, that's the Tesla in our office.
Another yeah. So just another great example of where, again, augmented reality can marry the product, it can marry video. You can take something that otherwise would be impossible to bring right into a presentation. And you're just going to see more and more of the adoption of this technology as it comes forward. And our pipeline is growing, I'll say considerably with these types of opportunities and use cases.
I mean, imagine giving a PowerPoint presentation before the next guy walks in and presents his presentation in AR. I mean, right? Like, the guy who's presenting in AR is clearly going to get the attention of whoever he's presenting to. So, Jack, that's our presentation for today. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate it. And Jack, do you want to open it up to some Q&A?
Yeah, sure. Let me just see what we have coming in. Okay.
Did I take the screen back?
Yeah, hang on a second. Yeah, let me give you the screen back. Just a moment.
Thanks again, Paul. Great presentation.
Paul,
I know
thank
you.
you.
You're welcome, guys.
I know you want to keep going.
Yeah, I have sales call shortly. Yeah.
Okay, so let's open up for Q&A. Let me just see what we have coming in from last night. We'll start with the questions from the people who registered earlier. So actually, Evan, can you go back to your presentation? Because I think the screen went dark over here. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so let's see. First question coming in from looks like Robert. Okay, how the usual question: how is coronavirus affecting the business?
So we have zero disruption from coronavirus. Our business is healthy. We're not infected. As you saw, our office was filled with people, so everybody's coming to work. So coronavirus has not had any negative effect on us. We're talking internally about possible positive effects, meaning more people shopping online, but we won't really see that show up for another 30 days or so.
Okay. Okay. So next question is: are there the name doesn't show, but are there other companies which provide the same 360 scanning service as NexTech does? And if so, what really makes you special? Thanks.
Sure. So there are some other 360 scanning companies out there. We've tested everything in the market today, and the big difference is the quality, the photorealism. Samsung had an app that came out. We went head to head with their app, and it was, night and day, meaning their app was not ready for business use. You couldn't sell anything that you were scanning using their app. So, there are other apps. There's a number of them out there that do 3D scanning, but you don't get the photorealism. You don't get what's required for it to be a business tool. Sure, you can have fun with it. Sure, it can act as a toy, but it's not going to help you if you're trying to create a 3D asset, let's say for an ad budget where you're going to be spending $1 million. You're just not going to, it has to be photorealistic. And that's really the differentiating factor, where the quality of our scans is head and shoulders above the others.
Okay. Next.
Oh.
Okay, we got Vink is asking, any deals in progress with big companies like Walmart? How soon can we expect NYSE listing? That was maybe you want to explain that. That was in a little email.
Yeah. So we'll start with the NYSE. That was one of the highlights of my professional life. Jimmy Rogers, one of my idols. He started the Quantum Fund with George Soros in the 1970s. He was really, the first true hedge fund managers, and they created something very special. Jimmy Rogers, he's just a special human being, and he's a good guy. So I met him on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, and we were able to bring down the gavel together and spend some time. So that was really special for me, and I do hope to be back there again. Maybe it'll be NASDAQ and not the NYSE, but we're working diligently to uplist. There are requirements that we need to meet, but we absolutely are focused on getting NexTech to the point where we meet those requirements and we do uplist.
Okay, I probably should apologize. That was kind of like almost like an inside joke. Yesterday, a few days ago, we interviewed Jimmy Rogers for Wall Street Reporter, and I was talking to Evan about this, and Evan mentioned the photo from the NYSE, so I thought it would be fun to include that in our email this morning. But a lot of times, past is prologue, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so next question. Okay, so I think this is okay. So this is back. Where do you see VR store, and is Walmart involved?
So as far as Walmart goes, I mean, Walmart and a lot of the big companies, they have enough budget that they create their own tech in-house. Walmart is known for that, and so Walmart is a potential customer. I would say the way that Walmart would become a potential customer would be with our ARitize 360. If you think about ARitize 360, all the big brands, all the big retailers have the potential to download the app and start scanning products. And that's really where I think ARitize 360 can gain a tremendous amount of traction. You get a big retailer that starts using it, a big brand, a big business. But as far as our v-commerce store, we have a location in Silicon Valley, and the only reason why we're not kind of pressing the button is coronavirus, right? So, if there is any effect on us, it's just that we're kind of taking it a little slower with v-commerce because it is a storefront, and people do have to show up to experience the virtual reality. So we're going to wait for coronavirus to kind of burn itself out, and then we're going to move forward with that. But all the pieces are in place.
Okay, so let's open up for live questions. So anybody who's in the audience now, just click the icon to kind of raise your hand, and I will turn to you. Just make sure your mic and speakers are on. Let's go to David. David, David, are you there? Oh, okay, David left. Hang on a second. Okay.
Everybody's probably watching the market as it,
Yeah. Actually, I think, okay, David actually did leave a question. Okay, so how was the Toronto mining show for sales? I guess he's talking about, the PDAC.
It was good. There was a lot of interest. We're obviously everybody there was focused on what they were doing. So, we're going to be following up with a number of hot leads. And as soon as we close a deal, we will let you know.
Okay. Same question from John.
Yeah.
John was asking, how was your reception of PDAC at the Romeo's Gold Kiosk? Do you see that business ramping up? I guess he's talking about the mining vertical.
We do see, and we do expect to see more customer wins there. Yes.
Okay. We got a question from Buddy asking, what portion of the 685,000 revenue for February came from AR versus, I guess, the e-com?
Yeah, we don't break down that revenue. I mean, those were preliminary monthly numbers we're sharing with our shareholders to be as transparent as possible. But I don't have the breakdown. We will share our AR revenue, and it is growing. But obviously, most of the revenue is still coming from our e-commerce divisions. But let's be clear, we consider those e-commerce divisions AR e-commerce. And in the next 30 days, everybody's going to see a very, very different website for our e-commerce businesses. We are massively upgrading them to include even more AR, but they are part of our AR ecosystem. And so for us, it's going to just be all AR e-commerce revenue.
Okay. Question from Bruce. He's asking, why wouldn't Walmart just buy NexTech instead of creating their own?
So that's a good question, Bruce. You never know. They might. They haven't called us yet. But big companies definitely want to own their own technology. And you got to keep in mind, NexTech is not a one-trick pony. You know, they might be interested in, let's say, the ARitize 360 app. They might want to buy that, but they're not going to want to get into our ad network. You know, Walmart's not a company that serves ads. They're not going to want to get into, you know, what Paul was showing with sand separation solutions, creating these 3D AR assets for, you know, the oil and gas industry. So, you know, we're just launching our businesses, and the typical acquisition strategy for big multi-billion-dollar companies is to wait for a product to gain traction and then pay up. They don't like to buy early. They like to actually buy later and pay more. They have the deep enough pockets. So if they were going to buy us or buy a piece of us, it would be down the road.
Okay, we got a live question coming in. Okay, Buddy, let's turn to Buddy. Buddy, are you there? Buddy? Okay, Buddy is not there. Hang on a second. Let's see if we have any more questions. Okay, so Venk, I don't know if this is Venk, if that's the first name or last name. He's asking, any progress in deals with Fortune 500 companies? Also, any interest in Asian markets like China or India?
We are always talking with Fortune 500 companies, you know, on a regular basis about deals, and as soon as we, you know, can, we will announce them. So stay tuned. Yeah, we're always making progress, though. Yes.
Okay, another question from yesterday, which that came in, was from Roger. He's asking, can we sign up to test the 3D ARitize Capture app? If so, how?
Say that again. The investor wants they can sign.
Yeah, if you can sign up to test the 3D Capture app.
We really don't want our investors in these early days to be using the app in the early access because it's really about getting feedback from people who are in the market. So if you have a business and you have you know, a use for it, then sure. But if it's just, you know, curiosity as an investor, we would prefer you just wait until we release it, and everybody can then, you know, download it. This is really, again, early access just for 100 brands and companies. It's really not for just investors' curiosity.
Okay. Any other questions? Any live questions coming in?
I got a question, Jack.
Sure.
When's the market going to stop going down?
You have to, you know, I guess, check out some of the interviews we had with you know, Mark Faber yesterday. We had Charles Netter. We had your man Jimmy.
Yeah, I don't want to hear from Mr. Doom and Gloom. You know,
well, it's doom, gloom, and boom. So there's an upside. But there's always a bull market somewhere, and you know, even the worst markets, you know, a lot of times this is when the great companies really get started. So this could, you know, this is actually a could be a good thing. Let me just so any other questions? Okay, I guess that's it for the questions. So I want to thank everybody for joining us. Evan, thank you again, and we look forward to having you back very soon with more good news and more you know, demos.
Thanks, Jack, and looking forward to being back with more good news and demos.